Oh, there it goes. Took me forever. Pop up your stream on share your screen. Yes, that's what I wanted. Entire screen. Okay, so I finally got it to work. But I can't. I build in display, share. Okay. Oh shit. And we do not need that. We just need it. Okay, we're going to print. Share screen. Not YouTube. I don't know which one to share. I can stop blinking. That's weird. Why is it blinking? Okay, there it goes. Now I don't have any. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I think we got. Yeah, there it goes. No, it's showing that there is sound. But yeah, I'm just doing the trial one for Tube. I still haven't figured out how to get multiple different streaming services, like Twitch and you know, YouTube, as well as streaming on TikTok too as well. Um, it's always been my dream to do YouTube lives and stuff like that. I do want to try finding a better game to play. Mm. Invite. Mm. Mm. How's everybody doing tonight? Um, I was also thinking about maybe like food recipes streaming live, cooking and stuff. Attack. I know that there's not a lot of people. Um, mm, pretty interesting game. Rewards. There's not that many people on TikTok live right now, as far as my friends. Mm, um, tonight I made some homemade uh, spinach hummus. Very delicious. Mm, let's see. Um, now that we know this works pretty good, um, let's go back to float and then uh, what do we want? What do we want? Da, 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 da. So this right here, let me pull this away. Um, this is another game I wanted to see if I can download. Um, fresh to white blood release. Please refer to this. Okay, and then we're going to ba, 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 ba. Oh. Let's see. Let's go back to here. And free to play online games, building strategies, MMO playable. Go away. So let's see. Forge of Empires, Forge of Heroes, Rise of Cultures, Call of the Dragons. I remember seeing that one advertised. Sun Village. I remember seeing that one as well. Hello, hello. That one actually looks interesting. But I don't think I like that. It's been so long since I've been on TikTok. No wonder why it's so dead. Oh. And Sonny doesn't know. I know it's a little late to be playing songs. Let's see. Dark Moonlight Legends. Left to survive. Humans survive for the survivors. Ooh. You know, I really like zombie games. Those are my favorite. Click on File. Click. I think I'm gonna end the TikTok live because I wanted to see if I can get any extra people to join on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna do that. Do that. He doesn't. What the heck? Files. Downloads. It's not there. Dismissed. That sucks. It says you can play it on the device, and then you're not able to. You know that? It definitely sucks. But regardless, yeah, I don't really know what I should do as far as playing games. Well, YouTube is live because I'm showing my screen right now, so I can try looking for another game. Actually, let's do something here that I have seen on other YouTubers' channels. Reddit stories. Let's see. Hello. I am doing okay. I finally got my YouTube to go live. So I'm just basically winging it since it's my first time going live on YouTube and trying to get out the kicks and stuff. How are you doing? Let's see. Reddit stories, scary stories, originally written short. Oh wait, this says it's part 3. Part 3. It was a long one. I'm trying to find part 2. There it is. We're a strange company, and I wish I never found out what we were shipping. Part 1. It all started with that strange email I received. It was some kind of job listing. It promised straightforward payday. I just logged and moved the freighter. It sounded good, and it was something I had experience in, so it seemed like the ideal match for that kind of work I needed. I recently got laid off from my previous warehouse job, and the hours at the part-time gig I picked up afterwards were small. So there was a particular offer came from the company called PT Shipping and Logics, a name I never came across before. I didn't hesitate. The opportunity to get back to good paying work was too appealing to pass up. I applied and didn't expect much to happen right away. But later that same afternoon, my phone buzzed with a new message, a new email notification. The subject line read, PT warehouse position, and my heart skipped a beat as I looked at it. The message was a brief yet promising. They wanted to discuss the role further. The salary mentioned near made my jaw drop. This is really interesting. Doesn't sound scary per se yet, but we'll see. It was nearly 3 times what I was making at my previous job. It almost felt unreal, but I tempered some of my initial excitement when I considered that there must be some catch. Still, I decided to go in for the interview and learn more about details behind such. See, my sounding of words sometimes sounds really bad. So sometimes I can't sound the word out. So I do apologize if I do mess up on certain words. Autism and my speech impediment never helped with doing words or talking in class or holding, like speaking to others publicly. So it's another thing I still have to work on. Anyway, where were we? Da, 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 da. The address led me to an industrial park at the edge of town. I pulled up to the nondescript gray building with only a small place card reading PT by the entrance. No windows, just concrete walls and a loading dock around the back. The parking lot was nearly empty, just 3 other cars despite it being in the middle of a workday. I arrived about 15 minutes early for my interview. As I approached the entrance, an odd feeling of dizziness struck me. Something in the air, maybe. I hoped there was no fumes or anything leaking outside somewhere. I looked back at the door, and it buzzed open before I could even reach for the handle. You must be the applicant, a voice called from the inside. A tall, thin man in a gray jumpsuit stood just beyond the threshold. Right on time. We appreciate your punctuality. I introduced myself properly and extended my hand, but he simply turned and gestured for me to follow. This is starting to get really interesting. The interior was nothing like I expected. Instead of a bustling warehouse, I imagined, the space was eerie, quiet. A few fluorescent lights flickered overhead, illuminating rows of shipping containers and large wooden crates. No moving forklifts, no workers, just silence. Where is everybody? I asked. My voice echoed slightly. Shift change, the man replied without turning around. You'll be working nights. Few distractions that way. We reached a small office at the end of a long corridor. Inside sat an older man behind a metal desk. His gray hair cropped short, his posture rigid even while sitting. The nameplate on his desk read PT Supervisor Matt. This the new guy? He asked, not bothering to look up from his paperwork. Yes, sir, for the night shift position, the thin man replied before disappearing back into the hallway, leaving me alone with the man who I presumed would be my boss. This is really interesting. My thing is, I really want to know, you know, why he took the job without having like better description of what entailed in the job. Like usually when you go to like Indeed or certain apps for jobs, when you're applying for jobs, you get a description or like your base pay and what they are looking for, stuff like that. It didn't seem like he had a lot of information to really make a logical decision with this job offer, which is really puzzling for me because information about a job I wouldn't even apply, let alone want to take it. Yeah, it might have been a lot of money, but I would be very suspicious of a lot of things. One being, is this job a real job or, is it fake? Stuff like that. Um, and I realize I am looking at my phone camera and um, not really my other camera. But it's because Good. I assume that it is a yes then. Welcome aboard. Matt slipped a form across the desk. Sign here, please. The rest of the paperwork can wait for later. You start tonight. I scanned the document quickly. It was unusual, lengthy, confidential agreement. My pen hovered over the signing line as a voice in my head screamed something wasn't right. The whole don't ask questions about what was shipping screamed something illegal. But then I thought, what about my empty bank account, my overdue rent? And I signed. Okay. Now I kind of understand more about why he needed to take a new job as quick as possible. But it's still very fishy, honestly. Welcome to PT, Matt said without enthusiasm. He stood up and gestured for me to follow him. I'll give you a quick tour. The warehouse was larger than it appeared from the outside, with zones marked by colored tape on the concrete floor. Matt pointed to different areas with minimal explanations, inbound, outbound, stacking, processing. Each section container identified black shipping containers with no markings except for small barcodes. What's in those? I asked, gesturing to the rows of containers. Max, uh, Matt's eyes narrowed, and I realized my mistake. Right, sorry, I muttered, apologetic. They really did take the confidentiality of the cargo seriously. As we walked back, as we walked towards the back, I noticed a large metal door with a keypad lock. Unlike the rest of the facility, this door had warning signs uh, authorizing personnel only and environmental controls in effect. And that area, I couldn't help asking. Matt paused, as if assuming what he should say. Storage, Matt said flatting. I need to get my glasses. I feel like I should get my glasses on. I bet a lot of people don't know I wear glasses unless you've seen, like, pictures of me. If I can find my case. And I can't. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my bag. It's all the way. Come here. Okay. Child. Storage Matt said. He squared his shoulders and turned to face me directly. His weathered face suddenly severed in harsh fluorescent light. Listen closely because I'm only going to say this once. There are a few strict rules here at PQ. Not guidelines, not suggestions, rules. You break them and you're gone. No warnings, no second chances. I nodded, suddenly aware of how quiet the massive warehouse was. I still thought it was odd that no one else was around. Jeez. Wow. Rule 1. Matt raised his finger. Never, under any circumstances, open any of the doors, any of the boxes or shipping containers. I don't care if you hear sounds, noises coming from them. I don't care if one of them starts leaking something. I don't care if the manifest says it's containing gold bunions and the lock falls off in your hand. Do not open anything. If something is already open, you call me immediately. His eyes held mine, searching for any hint of defiance or misunderstanding. I nodded again, feeling a cold knot forming in my stomach. Ooh, this is so interesting. I really like the story. It is very interesting. Rule 2, he continued, raising another finger. Fret processing must be completed on schedule every night. The manifest will be on your workstation, and everything listed must be moved, sorted, and prepared before the end of the shift. No exceptions. A muscle in his jaw twitched. If the work falls behind, breaks and lunches will be skipped. I worked double shifts before, and I can assume it's not pleasant. I walk a few paces, gesturing for me to follow. We passed by rows of strange equipment that I couldn't identify. Machines with dials and gadget, gadgets, yeah, uh, gear uh, gadgets that look medical in nature rather than industrial. Rule 3. Maintain complete radio silence unless absolutely necessary. The equipment we use is sensitive to certain frequencies. We use intercom systems only if you urgently need to communicate with another worker. I glance around, noticing for the first time the small black intercom box mounted at the inverts along the wall. Rule 4. Math. Continue. His voice dropped slightly. Some of the areas of the warehouse are temperature controlled. The thermostat is preset. Do not adjust them for any reason, even if it feels unbearably cold or hot. The merchandise require certain specific um, I don't know that word. What is that word again? Conditions. When I say cold, I mean cold. You might want to make sure you have a jacket or something warm. You're going to need it. We reached a metal door with a biometric scan beside it. Matt placed his palm on the scanner, and a green light flashed. Rule number 5, he said, his tone became even more serious, if that was possible. At exactly 5 a.m., an alarm will sound. When you hear it, no matter what you're doing, no matter how urgent the tasks seem, you will immediately proceed outside through the emergency exit doors. Everybody must exit the building during this time. It's only mandatory break of your shift, and it's precisely 15 minutes, not 14, not 16. What about it? I asked before I could stop myself. Whew, Jesus. This Reddit story is really interesting. You know, I've seen other YouTubers read, Reddit stories and, a lot of things on Reddit. And I'm like, I've never really looked into it. I mean, I've wanted to, but I've never really looked into it. But yeah, this is really interesting. Matt's expression darkened. The company's performance system checks. Nothing for you to worry about. He stepped closer, his withered face just inches from mine. But I understood this. If you're still inside after the alarm, I can't guarantee your safety. That's not good. The way he said it sent ice through my veins. Not a threat, but a genuine warning. Whatever it was must be legitimately dangerous. I tried to ignore the sinking feeling I was getting and nodded my head. Got it, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. Outside at 5 a.m. Matt nodded once, seemingly satisfied with my response, and he continued. Geez, how many rules does this company have? Moonbeam, lay down. Lay down. Down. You have all that room and you're sitting in that tiny corner. I need to eat my sandwich. Okay, so there was a total of 6 rules, and the last one is Rule 6, concerning dealing with strangers or intruders on the premises. Should you detect anybody lingering here without proper authorization, you are to detain them if possible. If not, contact me immediately so I can alert our security lead. I know you might have some reservations, so let me dispel them now. We are not engaged in any illegal activity here, despite the particular hours and need for discretion. PT Shipping operates as a legitimate business. We own the buildings outright and possessions unnecessary business license. Our discreet protects our clientele, and Mr. Jasper Works demands it, as does ours. As such, this is private property. Trespassing is strictly forbidden. Is that clear? Ooh, this is really getting intense. I mean, he says they're not doing anything illegal, so like the job, it seems legit. My thing is that if it's a private company, then if it's not anything illegal, but he said, things might sound weird in the containers or there might be something leaking, makes me think like maybe they could be shipping like, um, meat or, certain products that can leak if they're not kept in certain temperatures. Um, but overall, it seems like with the fact of the job, trying to mm, okay. Okay. Am I the for telling my wife if she keeps including her excluding her Otis, I'm going to take the locks off the doors. My wife and I have two kids, Elizabeth and Josephine. My wife and Josephine are autistic. Josephine is level 2. And my wife is level 1, borderline level 2. When my wife is overwhelmed, she likes to lock herself in the room, put on headphones, and play puzzle games until she feels better. When Josephine was 2 before she was diagnosed, she got Josephine a tablet, headphones, coloring book, crayons to keep in a spare room with headphones and a tablet. Now they're both diagnosed. They added sensory toys, a sensory swing, rocking chairs, and a tent to the spare room. Unfortunately for my wife and Josephine, Elizabeth is quite a big personality. She's loud all over the place, very touchy, in your face. We had her assessed, but she didn't seem to have autism or ADHD. She's just a lot of energy and a big personality. She's also very intelligent, and I figured out that there are certain things she can do that can get my wife to give her whatever she wants to get her to stop. As a result of the escalating behavior, my wife started to pull away from Elizabeth. She and Josephine lock themselves in the spare room a few times a week. She had me helping with homework and getting Elizabeth ready for bed, and she started to talk about sending Elizabeth to an after school program until I get home. Elizabeth noticed my wife growing distraught for her. She sees how my wife takes Josephine and locks her out of the room, how ready she how where she interacts with her once she gets home, and how she eats salmon and veggies while they're DoorDash, mac and cheese, grilled cheese, and tomato soup, bread, sticks, and other foods that we agree on would be more special occasions. I talked to my wife about Elizabeth and how she feels like her mom doesn't like her. My wife said she doesn't know what she can do besides sending her to an after school program until around the time I get home. That way she is not completely drained by the time she gets home. But I told her that sending Elizabeth away while Josephine gets to stay home with her won't solve anything. She insists that the only thing she can do to fix things that sparked an argument because she clearly favored Josephine over Elizabeth. I told her she can't lock herself in the room without Elizabeth and she can't get them special meals. She refused because she needs her time to wind down, and those are her safe foods. I got fed up with her refusing to fix the situation, so I told her to either start including Elizabeth with her downtime and safe food, or take the locks off the doors and stop paying. Or I'll take off the locks of the doors and stop paying for DoorDash. She locked herself in the guest room, then came out acting fine, suggested we get pizza for dinner. Elizabeth came with me, and by the time we got back, my wife and Josephine were gone. She texted me saying that they were staying with her parents and she'll see me in a few days. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted and if I should have not. I should have threatened to remove the locks and stop paying for her DoorDash. Mm. Oh. Mm. Not an asshole, but your wife is a. She's neglecting her oldest before the new baby. How your wife had to. Sounds like your wife is using her autism diagnosis to push her kid away. So I suggest you call your wife's therapist urgently. Update me. Call your wife. Yeah. Because it's always not sweet, but no. Oh yeah, this is a good one right here. Your wife needs to find coping mechanisms. A stay-at-home mom. I didn't realize my diagnosis until after I had kids and things got really hard. I couldn't just stop parenting because your kids are even if you have these kind of disabilities to work out. Yeah, help reduce the sound or noise. Yeah, that's an important thing. Some people prefer looped earpieces, which reduce overall sound. Also had to change all of the light bulbs in our house to daylight light bulbs as I realized I was getting stressed by the warm white light frequently that appeared more yellow. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting response right here. Um, was your wife diagnosed before she had children? She needs intense therapy either way, and to stop giving herself permission to be so cruelty and good of her and she's needs because it's not healthy or sustainable. Yeah, that is very true. It's not really sustainable to put your distance between your youngest and your oldest child. Um, Let me see what I have. So we are going to do that. Stop sharing. And it looks like we're at an hour and 16. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Um, Thanks for joining. I will be uploading the video soon on my channel. Like and subscribe and follow me on TikTok as well. If you have not followed me yet, maxed out on people I can follow. So I'm sorry if I do not follow you back. I will see you in hopes of getting more lives done regularly when I can and working on um, making better videos and stuff. Have a good day, good night, wherever you might be.